Or even that screen, shall we? Hello. Oh, hang on. Let's put my script up. Remind myself what I'm going to be talking about. That'd always be good. Now, I assume you can all hear me okay. Can you drop something in the green button? Can you just drop something saying you can hear me? It's the usual thing. Everyone says the same thing. Great. Right, so the project's going well, but it's at the kind of that middle bit where it doesn't seem like anything's happening from your end, but there's a lot happening from my end, so I had a stream about 3 weeks ago. When I made a few some little, tasty little bits. They're going to be coming along. I haven't got any of that. We're at that stage where still haven't made final decisions on certain parts, so I can't talk about them. The one good thing is that, as I think I've mentioned before, now this is a public one. I'm doing this for everyone. This is not just backers. So basically, I'm not telling you anything really. If there's anything really exciting, I'll tell the backers first. But but the good thing is the extra money meant that we had a bit more budget, so we could do a little bit more than what we initially thought we could, which is great news. But that's of course kind of changed things a little bit. So there's not an awful lot I can say at the moment. But again, this will all pan out over the next 2 or 3 weeks. There'll be more information coming out in the next 2-3 weeks, that kind of time, because it's going to have to be, because obviously I'm kind of putting off the whole ordering of the next stage at the moment, holding that off a minute, because the extra, as I said, the extra money has kind of opened up certain opportunities, which means I've got to price them, get it right. That's why I keep saying to Happy, be good, shut up. He's very excited about stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's good happening. But I did put some notes here. Now, if you look at the picture here, that thing that looks a bit like it's been whipped out of Back to the Future. This is one of those fun stories. So one of the jobs we have to do is power supply. Of course, power supply. This is not your normal monitor. This is not your normal, like it takes, like 12 volts, an amp power, that kind of thing. This is a bit more involved. And I'm not talking specs, just generalizing, okay? But, we have to have a more advanced power supply. But more importantly, it has to deliver more potentially more power. And therefore the testing, I want to be sure. I mean, Appy and I are both in full agreement on this, okay? We don't want to deliver a power supply. We don't want to deliver anything in this project that's substandard. So one of the jobs I gave Appy was test the power supplies. So I found a supplier. They seemed promising. got them to send us half a dozen power supplies, and Appy's been destroying them. So if you look up there, he'll probably put some funny comments here. Now I'm not making the image bigger, it's fine, you can see it, it's up there. But he's built his test bed, which I'm sure he's going to talk about in the comments. But it's for putting load on the 12 volt and 5 volt lines. Okay, again, I'm not going to go into details. You can pick out information, the interesting stuff here, but the power supply is got quite a lot of words to do, and so he's pushing them to destruction. And this first batch, let's just say they failed. And I've already ordered another batch from another completely different supplier. Now the other suppliers sell 1 million a month, so I'm guessing these might be a bit better. But we don't care how many they sell. But the rule was, and Appy and I both in agreement. The rules are this: safe, good for the job, and cost effective. I don't want to say cheap, because I don't want cheap power supplies, but we don't want to put immensely expensive ones in there. We want to get a good balance, but the most important thing is safe. So you plug it in, doesn't matter where you are, plug it in, do what you like, and it'll be fine. So that's the thing. That's what the test rig's for. Basically, you tested the life out of the thing. So that's one of the things that Appy's been doing. Another thing you should probably wear, I'll call it the plastic, the chassis. The design was sent off about 2-3 weeks ago. Did a load of. It's 95% ready for tooling. If assuming the certain parts of it, like the stand, work how in my head it works, make sure it works, and if not, I've got to tweak it. There's also a couple of other little things which I won't talk about, but I've got to make sure those ideas work and they're okay to make some improvements from these ones. And let me just change the screen on that. Let's put something else on. Oh, yeah, too dark now, isn't it? How about that? And then go to HDMI 2. Has that got it? There you go. There's a few things running on that monitor. So the chassis already actually to be fair, it's actually been made. The 3D print's been done. And they're just waiting to ship it to me because I've had some matching screws, because you probably know we have to have some screws that hold the speaker in. They have to go from the outside, so I'm trying to get matching colour screws to the case. And the thumbnails, we've got some really nice, better than one of the other ones, thumbnail aluminium screws for the back to hold the pods in. And they're all colour matched, so we're going to see how well they match. So they'll be coming. So they're supposedly arriving tomorrow. So hopefully Sarah will ship from China the chassis, get it over to me. It usually takes about a week by FedEx, but get that into the country, and then I can do the tests. So that's chassis. Now, if all goes well, my plan is if it's only tweaks that are needed, then I'm going to China next month. If you remember, that was a discussion, going to go to China. A whole load of reasons, but finalising the design of the tooling, so we can, while I'm there, just do the fine tuning, check the textures and that kind of thing, and make sure everything's okay, and literally nail that shut to the point where they can go off and do the tooling for the plastics. So that's got to be done. The boards, which I am not going to discuss because, as I said, it's not completely finalised. But all I can say is we are going to over deliver, but it's just how much we can over deliver within the constraints of the budget. So that's the thing. That's why I don't want to talk about it too much, because I've got to get that right. You balance between, we make the margins that I have to make, but you get more than you was promised, and that's the plan. So that's coming all right. We had to change. I imagine screws. Oh yeah, okay. So I've had some fun with language issues. I know there's a lot of anti-China stuff going around at the moment. I don't fall into that. So but I do have issues with, as you know, some parts are made here, some parts are made in China, and so on. But language is a problem. It's different suppliers. It's different levels of problems. But it turns out the one, without going into too many details, but I had two controller companies. Haven't completely decided, but I'm 90% sure now. But the company that I'm 90% sure with are the ones with the most problems with the language, so much so that I've got someone from another company helping me with translation. Because with firmware is, I'm hoping tomorrow we get the final version of the firmware. Well, final version for now. But it's pretty much what I want. Not everything, but pretty much what I want. I was hoping it was going to be another state so I could show you it. But it's got all the 4:3:5:4 aspect ratios. I mean, 5:4's filling the screen, but I'm making it clear what they are, 16:9, all that kind of stuff. That's the firmware's coming on. It's been a headache, but nothing that for them. It's just communication, miscommunication, that kind of thing. So it's a hurdle, but as I always say, you know, if it's easy, everyone will be doing it. So that's progressing well. What else is there? Oh yeah, I've started the registration for the name of the monitors. Trademark registration. I couldn't use Checkmate alone, so couldn't use that. But we call them, the registered trademark I'm going for is Checkmate Displays, and that's going in. That'll be 10 weeks. Hopefully it'll go through clear and it'll be all right, because there's I couldn't use Checkmate because apparently BMW. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go and get his BMW. Yeah, apparently BMW using it, which is really quite annoying. But yeah, so that's gonna be, so I can call them Checkmate Displays. And little things. The new controller that's 90% going to be used is different now. There's one thing that's being dropped, which was on the list. It's not gone completely, but let me go through it. So the original controller had one HDMI, one USB, two composites, but it had component on the main board. Okay. The problem with the component was it was only interlace, so you couldn't do non-interlace, and it was confusing people because you couldn't do games, you couldn't do anything that wasn't high resolution interlace video, basically. So for what most people wanted it for, they'd stick with composite. And the composite on this is actually really good. It is really good. So much so that I put my Atari into it. I don't think you need a S video card. It's really, really good. So that's good news. It's not as good as Component that was on it. Component's going. Now, Component is actually on the SCART board. So if you buy the upgrade, which I think everybody should buy, you've seen the price, about 60 quid, £59. That's got RGB SCART, and that's got Component, but that's got interlace and non-interlace. And we've also got the CGA and EGA on there. So that's pretty much a done deal. You need to buy that to get the best out of this, and you'll have Component on there. But the board that's replacing it at the moment, as I said, it's 90% guaranteed. Has two USBs and two HDMIs. So you can have an internal and an external HDMI, which is brilliant. You know, people have asked that in the past. We still have the option of a 5-way switcher. HDMI switcher, which is great. But the great thing about the two USBs, not only you can plug memory card, and it'll play music and it'll play videos and so on. It won't do 1080p video, let's be clear. I mean, you wouldn't want to pay 1080p on anyway. But it can do HD, so 1280, 720. It can do 1280, 1024, that kind of thing. But it kind of runs out of steam with 1080p on this version. But you're not going to use this for playing movies, I don't think. But it does have, because it's got two USBs, you can actually power your... well, give me an example. If you've got one of these, or one of these, which need USB-C, there's enough power on the USB ports to run them. I've been running them, they're running beautifully. So it's not bad at all. Now, I don't know how, I haven't tested this, but these two run absolutely fine. I'm not sure about how much you want to stick on it, like, you know, like a Pi at 2 amps too, and I'm not 100% sure. I'll make that clear later, but you should be doing that internally with our internal power connectors, which can give you a couple of amps, no problem. But it's really useful to be able to just run the lead out the back of the monitor into there, and the HDMI goes back into it. I mean, it's just really nice. You haven't got one. You can never find a USB charger, you know what I mean? So it's actually doing that is brilliant. So I'm really pleased with that. And the brightness of the screen on this new panel is better. I always thought it was good anyway, but it's not until you actually kind of see it. Oh, okay, that is bright, isn't it? And I've been playing with the color profiles. So I think I have a test monitor with this one behind me here, and it's amazing. It's the best monitor I own, which is a Philips. It's got a lovely panel. This one, let's be clear, it's an industrial panel, okay, but it's not far off of the quality of this one. It can't compete with that. It's like, you get yourself an Apple display, you can't compete with that. But it gives a really nice picture, and the colours look lovely and vibrant, and it literally pops off the screen. So I'm really pleased with that. Now that's the standard panel. Moving on with the Arcuda panel, I've been in touch with them. They've been given some confidential information about what we're doing, which I'm not going to give you, unfortunately. I will at some point release that information, but we're being very shy. I'm being very shy about it because I don't want to promise something we can't deliver. So we're already above what we was originally planning. Yeah, so they're working on their part of it, and I'm waiting to hear more from them. Hopefully what I'll do is, once the chassis is done, maybe we can get some stuff off to them, and then they can build theirs. I've got to be up front here. I think their tech will run later. So that's going to be an interesting part of it. I can't see them, well, unless we run late. I really don't know, but we seem to be on schedule still. But you know, these things, this is a really complex product, and I don't want to rush it. I'd rather get it right than ship it. I think the biggest problem is not actually this system, is the fact that I was expecting to have about 800 monitors to build. Now I've got 1,500, and I've got 400 or 500 more that people want. So there's one of scale of, that's kind of scary. Just have a look, see if I've mentioned everything. Yeah, so that's pretty much where we are. Gonna have a look for it in a second now, because I'm gonna keep this relatively short. God, it's 20 minutes already. Answer some questions, and I'm gonna bugger off because I'm actually on China time, so I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, and I've been doing it for a few days while I'm talking to especially at the moment, last week, 10 days, talking to the controller people about, and they start 2 in the morning, our time. So I've been up trying to work at their pace rather than catching them at the end of the day, and it's taken its toll. So let's have a look through his questions and see what we've got. This Appy's obviously talking a lot. In other words, I only have 347 questions. That's good. We better get started. Yes. Hi, Jeremy. Are we asking questions yet? Yeah, I'm going through now. Yeah. Do we ask a question now? Yes. Just I was wondering, the pods, are they going to be available in both colours? I assume you mean the back frames. Yes, absolutely. Because it's horrible, wouldn't it? You get we're agonising over the colour of the circuit boards. I mean, imagine having a black monitor with white frames. No, it will match and it will just look amazing. I like stuff to look good. It's really important. And luckily, Appy's like me. He likes the balls to look nice as well. So it's going to be a good-looking bit of kit. Appy's saying he's under a silence quarantine. It's worse when he was at the MOD. Yeah, because it's just that if he tells you what we're doing, people will expect it. And if we have problems and we have to kind of do a slight turn for whatever reason, then that's the reason I keep stum. Once everything's nailed, then I'll let him tell you. I hate the 2030 streams because it's past my bedtime. Has anyone out there in UK got any snow yet? Nope. In Hampshire. Right, you say that. I was living down okay, we're still talking about Appy. I don't like ice, fancy pants, anything other than gin and tonic and cocktail. Good night. Yes, it's Appy talking about drinking. What will he mess up this time? Here we go. I'm half expecting an announcement of some interest to be revealed today. I could be wrong, and I know Appy would be sworn secrecy. Hate to disappoint. Because it's a public video. Everyone's seeing this. So there's nothing. I mean, I will give that information to backers first. But there is stuff. There's a lot of exciting... Oh, hang on. There goes my camera. Hang on. It's a great camera, but it resets it, turns itself off to half down. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff, really. But as I said, I don't want to say it, and until we're absolutely sure that that's the route we're going, because we started off going one route, we're kind of veering, but we might have to pull back a little bit, So we'll leave it there. Oh, hello, Australia. I'm hoping for an announcement for the green button. What the hell? Oh, what's a green button? Chris, what's a green button? Green button is not a joke. Yeah, but what is the green button? Oh, there's I'm not quite sure what you mean. Unless you mean like a low power mode. I don't know. Well, I guess my theory is out the window then. Make the image bigger. Would it? Yeah, he wants this picture to be bigger, but it's big enough. You can see enough from that. Although these messages are probably quite old actually. The first bunch of PSUs on the short circuit did not cut it, but supplied. yeah, that was a good old Appy's Adam Whaler of time with this though. Looking forward to getting my screens. Yep. So, well, I was going to say so am I, but plastic inserts for the screw heads. No, these are actually really nice because they're going to be anodized aluminium, and they're hex bolts. So they're going to look really nice. I'm not putting plastic inserts. I'm not doing that. No. Unfortunately, it's one of those things we have to hold the speaker against the outside to seal it, because it's got a gasket around it, and there's no other way of doing it. So, you know, and they do sound good. Steve will not take me to China because of plane tickets, but mainly the bar bill. Yeah, it's not the bar bill. Yeah, he's grounded. Yeah. Right. So, how are you in terms of? Oh God, what happened here? How are you in terms of inflation? The longer the project takes, the more inflation will affect it. Perhaps allow us to buy the panels now, get them in paid for. No, don't worry about that. Look, I mean, because it's only a year. I mean, it's high inflation might be a little bit, but you know, parts go up and down. So no, we're still good. This is another reason for keeping me gob shut, because there's certain bits I want to do where I've saved a little bit here and I can spend a little bit there, but I'm not going to tell you that in case I can't afford to spend that bit there and I need to save it. So that's another reason I keep me gob shut. So this change means that C64 works properly now, given it's no, this is pissing me off. They've done. Look, I like the products. I don't use them, but I like them. Right, both of them. I mean, you know, especially this is lovely, right? But it's 69. I am going to talk. I haven't talked to them, to be fair. But I'm going to email them and say, look, can you do something about it? Make it a proper 4:3 or 5:4 aspect ratio, because it looks. Funny enough, it just don't look right on it. It's stupid. It's stretched. So I'm hoping that maybe they can do it. If enough of you people have got it and you complain about it, I'm sure they would do it. But once these monitors are around, there's enough people with it. Well, you know. There'll be a couple of thousand, I'm guessing, which is not a small number. I'm sure they've sold a hell of a lot more than a couple of thousand. So yeah, let's go to inflation. Perhaps allow us to buy the panels now. Well, to be fair, you'll be paying for your panels in May, so I'll be collecting it all then, because like the following month, if all goes to plan, I'll be ordering and paying for the panels and getting them to get them moved. Don't worry about that too much. I don't know. I mean, it was just when I searched on it. It's actually for some reason they got it to do with toys. It's to do with, I don't know. It was surprised me when it came out BMW. And I'm like, really? But again, I'm hoping that checkmate display should be fine. As long as no one complains, and that or has good grounds to complain. Because I've looked through the other people using it. It's only a couple, and they're only really using it, and they've got the kind of they've grabbed every single class, but what they're doing is just writing software or making, in the case of BMW, doing toys with it. So I don't see it being an issue. Fingers crossed, it should be good. Will the additional modules be available to buy post monitors being sent out? Yes. So you'll always be able to do it. You're going to have to pay the shipping. So if you live in Australia, don't do that. Order it at the same time. Because shipping to Australia for me is an absolute nightmare. When it comes to the expansion module with CGI EGA, how about to implement a feature to put it in amber black screen? Okay, right, app is... Yeah, look, it's something that I've been talking. I always knew we could kind of do green, because I could do that with a color profile. Just turn down all the other colors, right? So we may just do a color profile, but app is obviously cleverer than that. Well, I can do that actually post display, whereas app is thinking of doing it actually on the board. So but again, we're not promising that. But we both like the idea of a green and amber. I like the idea of an amber because we both got these Toshibas, and the amber display looks great. So, yeah, I think I think we'll be doing that because we have discussed it. But Appy's basically working on core stuff at the moment, so we've pulled off of that board because that's basically done. But we pulled off that to work on the core stuff. And then once that's done, which we've got a prototype being made at the moment, so hopefully I'll have that soon, and then we can test that, see how that goes, make sure everything's working out okay, because Appy's got some really clever stuff on there for interfacing the switching, the VGA switching. I can't go into details, but it basically, so there's no one doesn't over whatever, just basically to make this the VGA stuff work really well internally, because there's a number of things using this VGA. Okay, and he'll probably put something in the comments, which is fine, Appy, by all means. Yeah, let me just keep going. Thanks for the update. I have an order related question. I believe if we have placed an order for one monitor, we would get the option to double our order. I would like one of each colour, please. Yeah, so I thought the only fair way of doing this, because my concern was this, right, that because especially as it took off, like it shocked me, right. I didn't expect it to go that far. So I didn't think it was fair that someone as a backer can just go and buy a whole bunch of them and either shove them on eBay or, you know, just for their mates who hadn't backed it. And so I decided you can double your order. So if you've ordered, it's not rocket science. If you've ordered one, you can order two, so you can get one of each if you want. If you've ordered 4, you can order 8. So I think it was an only fair way of doing it. You have to do it in the May period and pay for it. Okay, so it's not like later on. But having said that, a lot of people have been trying to get on the list and trying to. Can I take over some of? Only a couple of people have wanted to pull out, and one of them changed his mind. But there's a number of people trying to say, "Can I take their place?" No, I'm not doing that, because the other reason is that if we ship on time, and I'm hoping we will, and I'm fairly confident we will be. September to December is going to take me at least 3 months to build these and ship, which means the next batch is like the new year. So you're only waiting 3 months anyway. So I don't know why people are getting, some people are getting a bit antsy about it. I don't see why. We should have, if you missed it, I'm sorry, but you only got to wait like 3 months. And then you can get one, and then you can order as many as you like. Yeah. So it's just for the backers. Get them out to the backers first, and once all the backers have been shipped, they will be close to this time. I will probably do it close. Everyone who ordered backers will get theirs before any new orders, but at a certain point I will open up for people. The main reason is I want to make 2,000 units, get them in, and I want to be out because it's another 500. So I'm hoping that backers will buy it. Do you see what I'm saying? So everyone knows me, nobody gets the Kickstarter products until the backers have got theirs. Now, if they're late paying, like some people with the cases did, they were late paying, then they got delivered, and I had people I was actually shipped 98% or whatever like that. A couple of 25, 30 people hadn't paid. I'm chasing them up. They wondered, well, why are people getting it for me? Because you hadn't paid. So that'll be the usual thing. But the rule is, as long as you pay in time, you'll get it before anyone else who's not a backer. But then it will be fairly close afterwards. Now, after that, the next batch is the scary one. Okay, which is why I want to make 2,000. The next batch is scary because you have to order 1,000. So I'm probably going to be ramping up a bit of interest in that, getting that second. I'm getting people on the waiting list. I've already got a waiting list of about 300 or 400 people. So that's looking good. And I've done no more PR. Yeah, so right, let's continue with questions. So there's a very simple answer. Yes, you can order two. Makes more sense combining components. Scott, looking forward to getting them on. Yeah, absolutely excited like a woolen sweater. That looks bad in English. It's extremely positive in Norwegian. Yeah, I look, I know I'm gonna come across as a salesman. I am, but I really like these monitors. Interestingly, my 19-inch one, if I switch back to here, let's get the right key. This one here is my original 19-inch with the old controller. Still really like it. I'm not going to change that. That's staying with the old controller because I think it's fantastic. The one over there has got the new controller. It's no point even taking any notice of that because I've had to turn all the colours down, the brightness down, everything down just so it doesn't burn out on this. You have to see these in person, but they look beautiful. They really look nice. I really like monitor. I'm really looking forward to getting them. But these two, these ain't getting thrown up in the loft or anything stupid. I'm going to continue using these because these are lovely monitors. With the cases, when I got to the production ones, I threw out all the prototype ones and threw them up in the loft. But these I'm kind of attached to these, you know, so. They're going to get used. Right, what else have we got? I like your dinosaurs. Yeah, I got a new one as well. Over the back there, look, big boy. T-Rex. Do like dinosaurs. I was one of those that asked about the HDMI output option. Awesome, you've updated functionality. Yes, we are having I'm not going to go into details, but we are having some fun with the HDMI output. But yes, you know, HDMI output is it's causing a few more headaches than I would have liked. But again, once I ship the product and everything's good, then I'll explain all this. Yes, HDMI out. It's going to have HDMI out. But I don't know how much yet. It's probably not going to be expensive. It's not going to be expensive, but I don't know how much yet because again it's that I know this is going to sound terrible, but it might be that if things get tight in one area or I want to do something in a certain area, I'll put the price up of a couple of other bits, not the ones I've already quoted. Right? Not the ones I've already quoted. They are the prices, but overall we have to be careful of the money to make sure that we make it because some bits are getting quite expensive and some bits I'm actually saving on, so you know, we have to get this right. Will you hang on, where's that gone? Damn, so this thing jumps a lot, sorry. There's a lot of questions, which is great. Will you support 3D panels for Virtual Boy compatibility? I'm assuming you're going to laugh there, and the question is obviously no. Unless I'm being an idiot here, but the answer is pretty much no. Having said, look, it's a monitor. It takes up to 19-inch monitor. If you want to put one in it, feel free. The button that turned all the colour guns off except green. Is that what you actually... Was it... Yeah. It's not... Yeah, basically. Look, but we're going to be a bit cleverer than that. Appy's got some ideas on this because I like the idea of, well, because as I said, I've got that lovely Toshiba and I quite like that amber look, so we'll see if we can duplicate that, not promising nothing. And I like the idea of a green screen, but again, green screen I think is really easy, so we can because we just turn everything down except black and green, so I think we can do it easily just in the monitor. But Appy's going to do some modifications on the signals to make it much better, but that's something we're looking into. You will have the opportunity to double your order when Stephen's site is ready. Yes, okay, thanks Darius. Yeah, look, let's be absolutely blunt here. It's transformed from being... The cases were very... I may explain this really badly. The cases were relatively easy. I know what I'm doing. I get the bits, all the parts delivered, and I build them. It takes me a bit of time. It took me 2 or 3 months to build, a couple of months to build. And ship, that was like 700. But this is 1500, 2000 monitors. And that's the only bit that's got me a little bit nervous. And that's the only thing I think at the moment that was going to be a delay, just time scale, is because I can't, because the obvious answer is, we're just going to employ that, the people do it. But I don't want to employ someone and sack them 3 months later, right? I can't do that. When I worked at Web Labs, I was a company socialist, right? So I'm nervous of doing that. But of course, I'm hoping to sell over time about 5,000 monitors. That's my aim. But the step from now with the cases, sell a lot. It goes like that, sell, boom, yeah, and then it kind of levels out. We sell 40, 50 a month, right? Not much. With that, the monitors, if that happened, and I ordered 1,000 monitors, right, nightmare. So that's why this first batch is important. We're already looking in for more space, trying to sort out more space, and maybe temporary or upgrading. I mean, I may go to bigger unit. I don't know yet. I've already had to upgrade 3 times. So that's a cause of concern at the moment. It is. I don't want to overexpand because I could kill this project. So the worst case scenario will be I get nervous and it takes a bit longer to actually ship, not start shipping, to actually move them out. But that's the worst case scenario. But it is a concern. The best way of handling it now. Maybe I might see if it would suit someone in the retro community who wants to earn some extra money to come along and help me assemble. And so on like a part-time basis or a short-term basis, that might be a plan. I don't want to just anyone, because as I said, I don't want to just employ someone and then have to lay them off. I don't want to do that. But so maybe it might suit someone that's close by, which is Anyway, that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing about this project, is because of the relative success it brings with it burdens, which I have to be careful. Hello, Paul. I thought the A500 Mini had a global 5:4 aspect ratio in the settings. No. What it does is it kind of does that, but in the middle of a 16:9 display. It's natively 16:9. Now I can stretch it, but it looks stupid. So it's not ideal. They could just as easily set it so you can have a 1024 display, 1280 display, that kind of thing. It's in their power because Linux can do it easy. So I'm hoping that if enough people have got it, because me saying it, I don't think it will make any difference. But I think if enough people ask for it, especially when it comes, you can shove the thing internally, and then put that lovely little up on the wall. Anyway, that's a bit frustrating, but I kind of understand it. Everyone's got 16:9s. Who's got 4 Fraser? Just a handful of people. Is it possible to crop the middle of a 16:9, cutting off the edges? That is true. I can actually technically do that, but the problem is the actual application is you're missing a lot of the application off the ends. That's the thing. So, and also, look, there's ways to maybe mitigate it, but we'll have to see. This will be something, because that can be a firmware change that I can release, because the firmware upgrades for the system is easy. We just put it on the stick, shove it in, updates it. Yeah, so it can always be updated later, which is a good thing about these controllers that we've got. I would like an audio mixer module to combine Amiga audio as the external solutions. Yeah, okay, that's fine, but I look forward to you making it, and just let us know when it's ready. We've got a list of things that we got to do, but I suppose I'm just double checking. I've already told you a lot about. Let's go for the questions. there was something new, but I think you probably already know about it. Oh, let's do it now before I forget. So you've probably heard of Mini-Mig. They've got a Mini-Mig now. It's got the 68K socket on it, so you can stick a PiStorm on it. So you've got a proper Amiga and a PiStorm. There, you may or may not know that there is a Mini ITX version coming. He's doing one specific. Well, no, he's doing a Mini ITX version, so it'll go in my cases. The cases obviously inspired him to do it, and me emailing him. But there's also, I'm going to be careful what I say. There's going to be potentially a custom version for the monitor. So you slap an Amiga into the monitor. I'm not going to go into more details because it'll give away certain things. And so, but there is going to be a custom one. That's all I'm going to say at the moment. But that's I think really exciting, because to have basically an FPGA Amiga with a super fast accelerated processor, RTG graphics, it's just going to be amazing. So having that in the monitor, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. I really do, and it's kind of inspired me. If we don't get these keyboards, Amiga keyboards, really nice ones, I know they're going to come eventually, but if I get fed up waiting, I've always wanted to make a reproduction of this keyboard, which is the Amiga 2000 Cherry keyboard, and I might, if I get fed up waiting, I might reproduce this, because I've got a company that will do it, and they'll proper Cherry keys, Cherry switches, but it'd be expensive, obviously, but it would be nice to go with the monitors, maybe a mouse, that kind of thing. Right, let's move on. Like an audio mixer. Hello from Bristol. Do you know the approximate maximum weight? Yeah, I don't know, about 8 kilos, 9 kilos. For packaging, the size, packaging weight will be 10 kilos. So I know it's going to be about the same size, maybe a little bit thicker than my existing boxes. So it's going to be a little bit thicker than that, but I'm going to standardise on my packaging. So it's probably going to be effective 10 kilo shipping weight. So big, but we're going to be really going to be every time I make the boxes. The plus is the box was nice and strong. The internals were strong. We had a couple that got damaged. Over 1,000. We had a couple got damaged, but I was never really. Once I seen the one for the Mini, I hated the internals for the Plus. So the Plus internals will be updated soon, because we're nearly out of those boxes. They're going to be stiffened right up, and so we're going to have the really stiff cardboard internals. It's all nice cardboard internals, that kind of thing. So 10 kilos. Say 10 kilos. I don't know, it would be nice if it were nice to mix it. Look, I mixes, if you want to, but it's not something that we've gotten planned. But that doesn't mean we won't be doing some kind of mixing, all right? But a proper mixing, you can just get an external one. Maybe someone will do one, or maybe later on we might do something like that. But at the moment, we've got too much. We've got bigger fish to fry at the moment. I ordered one of each colour. To be fair, I only found out about these monitors by accident. Yeah, a lot of people did. Don't forget to build enough to replace defective units as well. Undoubtedly, there will be some failures in the first few months. Yeah. I know. The panels, they're, as I said before, they're industrial panels, and they're really designed to be used long term. So I'm not expecting that many failures. I'm not expecting that many failures. I mean, very few, if anything. Most of the boards I've made, less than 1%, 0.5% failure rate, if that. Because I mean, I think we've shipped, if you include the ATX, I don't think we've ever had an ATX adapter board go wrong. I think we had one Zorro board go wrong, maybe two, maybe one. So, but most of the boards these days are pretty good. The boards themselves I'm not worried about so much. I mean, the panels, like, yes, I can understand the panels, but they're industrial panels. I've had these, and I've had no. One of the reasons I really like them because they're on all the time. I'm abusing them. I'm pulling things out. I'm doing all this, turning it on when maybe I shouldn't have done, and they're not even bothered. They run beautifully. So I'm pretty confident of these panels. It's not to say the Okuda ones won't be any good. Don't get me wrong, but these panels I've been using them for quite a while, and they're good. I mean, they seem pretty bloody good to me, and they're designed to be left on. That's the thing I like about them. I will make this project to way beyond the market spec. My name is Happy and I'm a genius. You will all love what you get. I would love to say more, but trust. Oh God. Look, the truth is this is going to be a good monitor. In fact, bollocks to that. There's nothing like this. There's no other monitor like this. I mean, there really isn't. When you see what you can do with this, when we've finished, you know, I mean, like that one's sitting there. I know you can do this one. I've got 5 HDMI inputs. I mean, I've only got one board in. I've only got the base board in. I've got a couple of composite inputs. I've got VGA. I've got all the other bits and pieces, and I've got a brilliant set of speakers in there. It sounds fantastic, which I'm not turning it on because I've got a little 4-year-old who's asleep. And it looks good, and we're trying to make it really good looking, you know, and look retro. My favourite thing about Happy is how humble he is. Some people though overcompensate for certain reasons, so don't read too much. Yeah. He's a lovely, absolutely lovely bloke, right? So don't, you know. I've lived a long life. You're just a puppy. What are you talking about? Bloody 20 years older than him. No, maybe not. Actually, I'm about 16 years older. Oh God, here we go. Like, it's jumped again. Okay, here we go. So there's quite a lot of questions, which is great, and I'll just keep going until I run out. It was stated in an old update or email. I'm glad we were given the option. Okay. Oh, hang on. There goes the camera. That's over an hour, isn't it? Let's get a drink. Yeah, I think I don't want to big things up too much, but I tell you what, me and Happy could be a really good pairing. You know, my brain's in his genius. I think we could be a really good pairing. You know, yeah, no, I think we could, because we're both getting. Forget the money side of it, because he's not getting any. No, forget the money. We both enjoying it. Both enjoying it. I keep. Have you noticed I'm going like that? I've got to try and figure out why it's doing that. Yeah, I must have missed it. Good to know, because I was hoping to be able to grab a second one initially. If when it comes around, you'll be able to order another one. Or you know, at least one more. I may even. It may be that I say that the people with 4 can't order twice. But definitely, if you've ordered 1, you can have 2. Is my camera in focus? You're blurry. The background is. Yeah, I don't. You don't want it focused on me. Computers behind me are interesting, so I tend to focus on the computers. They're a bit more interesting than me. So So yes, I'm a bit blurry, but I look like that. Even when you meet me up front, I look all blurry. um, Let me see. Got a question. Got something planned for the lower front panel or keeping it DIY for? It's a very good question. No, I originally, when I was going to be using the, I forgot what it's bloody called. It was a scaler and OSSC. When I was going to be using that, there was a little LED board, a little mini TV, a little mini display. I was going to put on it in a minute. I've had to shrink it slightly as well, which is very frustrating because I'm kind of limited by the amount of space I've got there because of chassis behind it, etc. So I've had to. Well, in fact, to be fair, I opened it, made it bigger, and then pulled it back. But I didn't pull it back. It didn't go back to the original size, which I originally quoted. So it's still bigger. It's just not quite as big as maybe I said before. But it's big enough to do some stuff. But there's nothing planned. I mean, I'm going to have one with two. I'm going to tool up one that's got two USBs and a HDMI, and a blank, so you can just drill. But that's tooled. But you can make any 3D printed ones you want. And if there was a big interest, as someone come up one, in the meantime, maybe we could make a bit more tooling to make a couple more. But then we'll have to wait and see because we've got so much on to be thinking about what we're going to use that for. I'm more interested in what goes inside. Okay, so App is saying he wants a really nice optical out, but yeah, that's fine. It's nothing. You haven't got to worry about it. You can say that. But I don't think you want it on the front. I could be wrong. I thought you want that at the back. I don't know about going in the front. Who has a? It's not like you put headphones in it. I mean, to me, it's a headphone socket or plug in a USB stick if you've got a computer in there, that kind of thing. But there's going to be other things people want to do. I mean, look at what people have done with the cases. Yeah, they put, all kinds of stuff. I know Happy likes his audio, so I mean, he's get all the other bits done. Then by all means, why don't you add a Kong new tube to the audio while you're Happy? Yeah, maybe. I'm more of a powered USB hub switch kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, look, I think USB is a big thing because if you're going to put headphones and a USB, to me, that's, if you put like a computer inside with a USB, you want them at the front. I mean, it's, you want them in the front. I mean, the key thing is the whole point was to give you that option. I don't record mini disc with track markers, Bluetooth. Is it possible to use Visa 100 by 100? Again, that's a good question. This is a really good question, Alicia. No. But at the back of the monitor, I've got 4 big screw holes. And they were originally just placed, normally, but they are now exactly 200 millimeters apart. So you've got a 200 millimeter by 200, and which is part of the Visa standard, 200 millimeter by 200 millimeters. So you can get an adapter to put on. Now, of course, you've got all that stuff in there you want access to, but it means you can get a Visa mount to put it somewhere and do that. So the answer is it's not 100, but it is, because it would be inside the thing. But I have got 200s, so yes, that which is quite. I've not actually mentioned that actually previously. Yeah, Taj, yes, it is. I mean, as I said, it wasn't originally. It's something I actually put that in about a month ago, because I looked at the Visa standard and it goes up. But there's a 200 by 200 one, and I thought, well, that's fine. It just means I've got to move them a little bit apart, and it was away from the hole at the bottom in the middle, so I could put a Visa mount. Now, how well it works in principle, don't know. I mean, it might not work well at all, but the holes are 200 apart. Mini ITX Mini MIG. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm thinking. Then don't thank me. I'm not doing it. Is that Mini MIG? Yes, the V1.9. Because I said that's to me is amazing. Being able to put one of them inside with a Pi Storm in my mini cases. I mean, you got supercharged Amiga, and I still think Pi Storms. I mean, everyone knows I like the Vampire, except the price, but I like the Vampire, and I got two, and one's in my 1000 under there, and I won't be putting a Pi Storm in there. I'm quite happy with my Vampire in there, but. I think the Pi Storm, and when they sort out the Pies, and you can actually get them, because I think a 3B plus, whatever, it's perfectly good, really fast. So you don't really need more than that. The RTG is amazing. It's light years ahead of a Vampire. So, and if you've got that FPGA with the chips, Jesus, what a bloody wonderful machine. So yeah, I'm really up for that. It is mind-boggling, I know. Has anyone heard any news from Trevor about the A22? Well, no. I don't want to say too much. I mean, look, you know, I think it's dead in the water anyway. Who wants it? I don't understand. I don't think anyone would want it anyway. I'd pick a Pi Storm, which would eat it alive. You know, and especially with Michael Schultz writing the code. It's going to destroy that little 1222, whatever it is. It's got no chance. Yeah, Jeremy, yeah. Assuming it's about 350. Oh, God, no, not that much. No, my target price is a couple of £100. I think we could make it for about 200 quid, but it'd be really, you know, like my usual plastics. As nice as I can make the plastics, with a real mechanical cherry keyboard inside, but made in China because they can get the cost down, but real cherry keys. So I think with numbers, 200 to 250 pounds. I want it for 200, but I think I can do that. I think I can, especially with the monitors. So yeah, I'm up for that. But I'm waiting for the other, waiting for Philippe and the 1200 Net Boys, because I know they've got one in the works. But it's not cherry, it's Mitsumi's, I think. I know they're working with I forgot his name now, Kipper2K, on doing one. So, and but there's a number of people have done it, but no one really has ever released it. And that's the thing, is I want one to go with my cases. I want one to go with a monitor. I want to be able to sell an iMega. Yeah, I've got a handle on the back. I want to be able to sell that with a keyboard and a mouse, and a nice looking mouse. Yeah, wireless keyboards and mice. Well, there's already a wireless mouse, which is coming soon. I'm a big fan of this. Yeah, I really like that. So if I was going to make a mouse, it would look like that. It's just me. I like the 3000s. What can I say? Yeah, wireless is a good idea, but it obviously involves issues. But yeah, I mean, it would be a USB keyboard at the end of the day. So maybe. But I'm saying I'm doing it. I'm just talking about it. You know, as I said, I'm waiting for someone else to bring a good one out. A1222 Plus and the Legend of the Impossible Source Bomb. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? To be fair on Trevor, I think he's kind of been caught between a rock and a hard place, because he has released two great boards, really expensive. And I can actually say I told him before he built the X1000 in his kitchen, it's too bloody expensive. But you know, this was supposed to be his low cost version, but it's crippled. I don't think it's even worth bringing out personally. But have the display carry bags change design? No, at the moment it's still the same. They're the same design. Do you know? I think I'm going to turn this on. That's my AROS box because I'm not displaying it, am I? So leave the 1200 running. Where was I? Oh, I've lost my train there. Right, I'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, the display bag, the bags. Yeah, there's a very subtle change. Nothing perceptible. They're not going to be cheap, but they're about going to be about. Actually, to be fair, they're really good value, but they're going to be about 70. No, what am I talking about? About £90 because I need to put on them like 10-15% on top. But you could probably go. You could go direct, get them cheaper. But they are actually really nice bags. I think for people who, a lot of people aren't going to want them, but they are if you kind of go to places and you want to put them in there. I was inspired by the fact that the Macintosh had a carry bag, and you put everything into it. I like the idea of that because I bought one with the bag, and I thought it's quite a good idea. And I can safely carry my monitors around now, whereas before I used to put them in bloody bags and stuff. Well, the trouble with I don't want to. Yeah, Trevor's Art's in the right place, but it's look, it's a passion project, okay. But to me, these were never a passion project. They were a project I'm passionate about, but it's not a passion project. And there's a massive difference. These things have to make money. I ain't doing it otherwise, and I don't mean millions, but it has to make money, has to pay for my bills, has to mean I can live off of it. But apart from that, I want people to love them. I want people to want to buy them. I want people to be able to afford them. And I know you can look at my cases and go, expensive? Yes, of course they are. Are they worth it? You decide, but most people love them. So, but passion projects, I think they have to be, I think you have to. I prefer my way. It has to make money, and I'm passionate about it. It's a different spin on it. When is the monitor going to be on sale? Next year. I mean, I got a 2024 waiting list. If all goes to plan, probably first quarter 2024 people can order who are not backers. Maybe. But I don't know how big it's going to get. After this Kickstarter and what happened with Peter's video, I've got a feeling. Well, my gut feeling is 5,000. 5,000 to 10,000 monitors. But 5,000 would be fantastic. So, because don't forget, well, not old, but I'm, getting up to retirement age. But I don't want to retire. But I want to make money, and I'd like, I've got other things I want to do. And I want to, I want a keyboard. I want a nice keyboard. I want to finish this package off. Nice monitor, nice case, nice keyboard, something, quality product. Slap some nice hardware in it, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, look, you're absolutely right. Aim for Q4 release when aiming for Q1 comparison. Yeah. Look, it's got, PyStorm. Yeah, PyStorm's fantastic. Keyboards 200 to 250. Yeah, I mean, that's again. I'm not saying I'm doing it. What I'm saying is, if no one else does, I will. Once the monitor's finished, it won't be finished because I'll probably continue selling them. But part of the pipeline, I want to make a nice keyboard and a mouse. I want a 3000 design mouse. I want this complete 3000 system. But the keyboard, I want it to be Cherry, because you can tell the difference. If you've bought one of my keyboards, they're Cherry clone switches, and they are nice, but they're not as good as the true Cherry. You can tell the difference. If you're a keyboard guy, you can tell. Well, actually, I don't think you have to be a keyboard guy to tell the difference. But if you try my keyboard, and they're only 60 quid. They're quite cheap. If you try one of them, you'll think, oh, that's really nice, yeah, and you'll really think it's brilliant. And then I'll put you on a Cherry keyboard and go, oh, oh right, that's what Cherry switches are like. So it's a step up, a big step up, and so I'd love to make one. And that one, I mean, that cost me 200 quid. This thing, it's just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Really is amazing keyboard. Right, well, come on, example. This is a stream for the monitor. No, Happy, you're wrong. This is a general stream. That's why it's public. I'm talking about the monitor, but it's not just about the monitor. My wife's keyboard and mouse are used for your checkmate case. I bought and rebuilt. It is awesome. Yeah, they were really nice. I know, just conversation is all we expect ideas. Of course, there's a price premium. It's a niche product. Yeah, cheaper than buying this stuff in 99 for it. Yes, it's true. It's fine. Even today, the Amiga still wins our PC functional design. Just wish Commodore had not screwed the pooch. I agree. Tell you what, Steve, if you could get buckling spring switches, I'd apply for the church one. No, that's never going to happen, is it? Obviously, because A, it's patented, and B, I don't think anyone's allowed to make them. And I've actually used them, so I know what you mean. I have used those keyboards on a 286 30 years ago, and it was lovely. And they are amazing keyboards. Bloody noisy, that's the only thing, but they are amazing. I actually really like the quality Cherry keyboard. Like, I've got one of the, I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift. No, I can't lift it. I've got a Corsair Z63, I think it is, which is a proper Cherry keyboard, black one. It's fantastic, and I really like it. But I use one of mine for my other Mac, and so I use it for that. It's an Amiga key layout for a Mac, which is hilarious. Yeah, that you can tell the difference. Right. Are you thinking of any new case designs? Yeah, of course. Now you're going to ask me, can you tell us about them? And then I'm going to say no. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do next. Can you invent a keyboard with the keycaps lettering does not fade off? Well, mine? Usually find if you've got laser etched, they're a lot stronger. Like the ones on my keycaps, which the keycaps aren't like bad. Out of 30 quid a set. They're laser, done with lasers, and they're pretty damn good. Well, but I use it a lot, but nothing's ever come off it. But what it'd be like in 10 years, I don't know. Bit of a left field question. A MIDI towel version of yours case. Shut up, Darius. I do want to do something. I've already got it designed in my head what I want to do next. It doesn't take brain. Don't have to be brain of Britain to figure it out. But I'll give you a clue. I threw one in the skip a long time ago. Long story. But right, okay, so as I said, I've been up since 3. I think it's time I went to bed. As I said, this is not, I mean, this is a fair bit about the monitor, obviously, but it's not about a monitor. It's about checkmate products, and the monitor is one of them. Thanks for joining in, everyone. The next stream will be in a couple of weeks. but it will be backers only, because I'll be showing the prototypes, the new prototypes, talking about some private stuff. So I will do I'll do another talk soon, public one again. I have been a bit slow on some of my communication because there's a lot going on, and of course having a 4-year-old. But the next one in a couple of weeks, we'll be showing them backers privately. There'll be the new, hopefully new prototype, either how wonderful it is, or oh cock, I've ruined it, I've destroyed it, got to start again. So it's one of them two. Yes. Speak to you all later. The end of this, I'm going to put the outro, which is me going, hello, buy some of my cases. It'd be really nice if you did, because I'm actually really nice. Maybe one of them lame advert kind of things. You can all laugh at me in my black shirt. But yeah, thanks so much, everyone. Speak to you soon. Don't have to watch the ending. This is for people who are following on. I'll see you in a couple of weeks if you're a backer, and I'm going to do another one. I'll do another one, don't worry. But then I might do some interesting ones when I'm in China as well. Do something in China, because I'm getting a bit lax on my videos, but I'm trying to put my effort where it's needed. All right, see you later. Thanks so much. See you next time. The Checkmate 1500 Mini and Plus cases are mostly engineered and manufactured in the UK. They're designed to give a nice retro-inspired vibe on your desktop. The 1500 Plus is the biggest of the cases, and designed to be able to take much bigger motherboards inside. So this can take a micro ATX as well as mini ITX if you want to build a PC. But also, with the correct rear panel, you can fit an Amiga 500, an Amiga 1200 and an Amiga 600 and build your ultimate Amiga rig. The Mini is designed to take mini ITX motherboards, but don't think that limits you. Yes, you can build a PC, but also you can put in many custom motherboards from the retro scene, like the Mystics, which takes a DE10 Nano, one of our DE10 Nano fitting kits, a fitting kit for the Raspberry Pi 4, and other systems that are coming on stream right now. The Checkmate Garage was inspired by our new monitor developments. The reason being, if you've got a 500, 1200, an Atari ST, BBC Micro, or any of the all-in-ones, it's nice to be able to put the monitor directly above and tidy up your system. However, exciting new product is our new range of monitors, 17 and 19 inch retro inspired monitors with loads of input, but also capable of taking an all-in-one computer internally. The monitor will come to Kickstarter hopefully August, September time. If you want to go on the mailing list telling you when it's ready, please point your camera at this QR code and it will take you to the page, which will then allow you to press a button to add yourself to the mailing list. The monitor is an important part of this company's strategy. Large amounts of development work are being done, and it will be like nothing you've ever seen. So hopefully it will pique your interest and you'll back us on the Kickstarter. Let's come to Patreon. Patreon is a very important part of this project. What we're planning with Patreon is, if you are a Patreon backer, whatever you've invested in Patreon to help us, we will put up to 5% of an order. So you get an extra 5%, but that's the whole order. It doesn't matter what you've ordered. It doesn't even matter if you don't back us on Patreon anymore. Hopefully you'll come back, but we'd want to show our gratitude to all those who backed us in the past. You'll see their names ticking by in this video. But I also know this is not just about people wanting discounts on products. They want more content from myself. So what you're going to see is a lot more videos from me, because now that I am full-time on this project, I'll have more time to spend on it. So I can give you videos of my computers. You'll notice I do have a reasonable collection, and I'm going to talk you through them. This is something that was at the top of the list for people who are backing me on Patreon. Not everyone does it to back the new projects. So how come I've got more time? Well, for the last 15 years I've worked for a company called Web Labs, and they've been absolutely fantastic. In fact, none of these products would have existed, and I'm going to stick their logo up here. I want to thank them, and going forward we'll probably still work with Web Labs and do some further development. But ultimately I want to concentrate on this project and hopefully make a success of it. And let's hope I can be doing this for many years to come.